Welcome to Revolutionary Nationalist people. And within this video, I'm going to discuss a great deal of things. And one of those things being not being ashamed of who and what you are as a person, a part of a race of people, a part of an entire group of people, racially speaking. There is nothing to be ashamed of about you, your race, or who or what you are, or where you derive from. There is nothing to be ashamed of what you are, racially speaking. Each and every race of being a part of a race of people, there's nothing to be ashamed of it. Rather, it is a strength than a weakness. And this also goes towards that of the white man. There is nothing to be ashamed of about who and what you are as a person, no matter what race you come from. There is no shame in the color of your skin, in the culture in which you hold, in the overall value that you are towards your given people, more or less. To be ashamed of who and what you are because your skin color is absurd, and it is a nihilist way of thinking, and it is quite ridiculous that we have had this forced upon us and force-fed this whole narrative of anti-white racism. There is no shame in being white. And like it or not, we should not have any more shame upon who or what we are. Past or present, those things will soon pass. And there's nothing to be ashamed about whatever our ancestors have done before us. Like any other race of people, they were fighting for their survival, for their right to exist upon this world. And that being said, we should not be ashamed of anything as such, like that or otherwise. That was all in the past, people. And you know what? Like any other race of people who were fighting for their right to exist, our predecessors before us were just simply doing something that is all but natural. It's unfortunate, but it is the way the world was. We should not be ashamed of ourselves, who or what we are, of that of an entire people, based upon our racial makeup or not. We should not be ashamed of what we are, of that of an entire people. And I think that we should no longer hold such negative thoughts. We should be proud that we exist, especially within the here now. Unlike any other time in given human history, we should be proud of the fact that we exist, especially right here, right now. And that the time for being ashamed of one's own past because of what their predecessors have done and being a part of some race of people is officially over. I think it's time for us to simply put that aside. Forget about all this name and shame bullshit. And that we should be proud of what we are as a race of people. And I think it's time to simply put aside this whole name and shame a person because of their race, based upon their race, because of them being a part of some racial group, should otherwise be dropped. We should not be ashamed of who and what we are as a people. And I think it is about time that we got that comprehension. No more guilt based upon what our past predecessors did before us. That was in the past, and I think it is time to put that aside. We should otherwise be proud of what we are as a people and the long struggle that it took for us to get us to the point that we are frankly at as an entire people. And I think that this whole name and shame us based upon our racial preference or because we come from a race, the white race, is absurd, is a nihilist way of thinking, and is completely counterproductive, if not underproductive, to sit there and be ashamed of one's own race because of what their predecessors have done in the past. And I think that that is a completely absurd way of thinking. I think that that should no longer be thought of in that sense, and that we should be proud of the fact that we come from an entire race of people who have literally struggled for thousands of years to get us to the point that we are at. We should not look towards the past for answers, but rather we should look towards the present and use the past as a source of guidance for the groundwork for a future. So I think that there should be no more white guilt, and that there should be more based upon the premise that it's okay to be white.